Hello everyone. In this video, let's see some basic idea of doing a research work. Okay, a research work is a part of our curriculum. More than that, many of the inventions, changes that the world has seen has happened due to research done by different people. Okay, knowing or unknowingly, we are also doing research in our daily life. We will search for something in the internet. When we find a song, we will search for its author. We will search for its about singer or someone who is behind the song. Or when we came to know about a book, we will search why this book is getting famous, isn't it? Everything is at least a small version of doing research. We are just searching what is existing already to state something new. That is what we mean by research. Research. We know it is already there, but we want to state something new out of that, so we make a study. It is called our research. Here we have some of the steps, okay, the basic steps that we need to follow while we are doing research. First of all, we should find a problem. Every study begins with a problem, and the aim of the study should be what? To state a solution to that problem. That solution may not be apt, that may not be practical, that's different, okay, but at least we should be able to state something. We should be able to state some solution for a problem that exists around us. Okay, so it is from where a research begins. We should find a problem, or we should state something new. Okay, there isn't something existing like this, so I want to know whether it is feasible, whether creating something like that is possible. So from that thought, okay, from that thought a research begins. We should either have a problem in our mind. Think you are good in cooking, okay. If you are cooking continuously for so many years, you will have some questions in your mind. Why we have a tradition that this thing is added to this? We don't know. Either there would be some medical reason or something else. Let it be. If we don't know the answer, we will have a lot of questions like this, that in our mind, isn't it? So this is the main aim of research. Research will help us to find solution to such problems, such questions that we have in mind. So to begin your work, we should have such a question in our mind, and from that question, we should have a problem in our mind. From that question, from that problem, we will move into a question. We will reframe our problem into a question. If it was asked to someone else, some experts, okay, then when we have found that we have a reasonable question with us, so first we should find a problem, then we should state that problem as a question. Then after we have clarity in our question itself, what we can do, we can make it into title of the study. So we are going to study a study on this because I don't know what happened there. For example, I want to know what is the influence of, okay, I just want to know what is the influence of reels in revenue of hotels. We see hotels are making so many interesting reels. Either the bloggers will help them to make reels. So we should know, we want to know whether this is helpful for the hotels. Are they creating revenue out of that? We have a question. Think I am much enthusiastic about what social media and such things. Now I have this question in my mind. So there is a problem, right? They are spending a lot. When we think from the side of the business people, they are spending a lot to create reels and all. But what is the question there? The question is whether it is creating revenue, whether it is generating revenue, whether it is being useful for them. That is a question that we have on the mind. So we are going to make a study. Now, how will the title fall? A study on the influence of, okay, a study on the influence of reels on generating revenue for hotels. Now, when we say it is for hotels, there are a number of hotels in the world, isn't it? So we can be specific, either in this Trivandrum city or in my nearby locality or whatever it may be. So because we can't generalize, if some of the hotels we studied, I took 20 hotels to study, that doesn't mean all the hotels in the world will have the same features, the same effect as it influenced the 20 hotels, isn't it? So we can't generalize like that. So our title should specifically say in which area we have made the study, or our study is applicable for which area in the world. Okay, that is how we make a specific title from our question. So our question is made in a specific title. After that, to be frank, what we have to do, we should have a check. We should check for literatures. Literature means studies, okay, research works that has been done in the same topic or similar topic, okay. There may be some people who was curious about this topic before us. They would have made some studies, they would have published some journals, whatever it may be. Just you can go to the Google and search for that, and what you will find, you will find some similar works done before. You can read such similar works and do make an idea about how they made the study, what all variables they considered, what all things was taken into consideration, who are all interviewed or asked question while making the study. Such ideas you will get from those people, because those people may be expert in doing such things. So you are advised to read at least 20 literatures which is much more or less similar to the study you are going to make. This part is known as the review of literature. I will state it later, don't worry. After reading the review of literature, you will get an idea what was found earlier and what is yet to be explored. Things that are yet to be explored will be what? Our objectives. We have the objective to explore these answers, because no answers was found to these questions in the previous studies made. So we will get an idea there is a gap in the research works done before, and we are going to fill that gap through our study. That is how we state objectives of the study. Don't worry, I know you people will get confused. Each thing has to be explained detailedly. I will do that, don't worry. Then from there, okay, after stating our objectives, we will state the significance of our study. There is a need as well as significance for our study. What is the need of the study? Need of the study means why it is relevant to make the study, okay. Why it is relevant to make the study, you will have some answer with you. It can be anything. It can be even that you have curiosity to be, or thirst, okay, we have thirst to cast it, though that's enough. That itself is the need for the study. We needn't explain much. But significance, how this study makes implications in the real world, that is the question there. This study should help someone, this study should solve some problem, or it should introduce something new. So who is benefited with the study is what we state through the significance of the study. From there we move on to the methodology of the study. We will state what is the methodology, how we are going to collect the data, whom we are going to interview, how much people we are going to ask the questions, what all things we need to make the study. The methodology of the study means that, okay, the detailed description of the methods that we adopt to make the study. It is known as the methodology of the study. From there we will have an idea on how much sample we can collect. Sample means a part of the people. For example, I am going to study about the influence of social media, I mean influence of reels on revenue of hotels. There, whom I want to ask the question? I want to ask questions to the hotels, isn't it? So the whole hotels in the world will become a population of the study I want to make. Because if I want to make a complete enumeration of my study, I would have to ask every hotel in the world. So every hotel in the world together will become the population of my study. Now, can I do that? No, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to travel everywhere. By the time I travel everywhere in the world, the situation would have changed the place where I have started the study. So it is practically impossible. So I will select a small portion from the whole population, which I believe to represent the whole population. So sample is a small part from the whole population, which the researcher believes, systematically he believes that it represents the whole population. So I should state how much sample can I collect, what is the capacity of my study, how many people I can see, how many institutions I can visit to make this study. After doing all these things, like specifying the title, reading the literature and everything, I should have a better idea on how much sample should I collect, okay. After that we can move on to prepare the questionnaire. What is questionnaire? Questionnaire is a detailed form of question. You can more or less connect it to a Google form, okay. It has a specific format. Simply writing question doesn't make questionnaire. Questionnaire should have a formal path, okay. Think it should begin with some basic questions like what is your name, where are you located, what is size of your business, or something like that. It move on to the important parts of the business, questions. And finally, it should have a good conclusion also. And moreover, there are many qualities that makes a questionnaire a good questionnaire. Like it should be simple, it should not include any kind of calculation like that. So having a set of questions in your hand doesn't means that you have made a questionnaire. So it is important thing, it has its own work. Don't worry, I will let you know when the time comes up. After you have a well structured questionnaire, after you are confident with your questionnaire, what you can do, you can start collecting data from people. After collecting the data, the collected data will be tabulated, it will be represented using charts, and you will give interpretation to the chart. If the chart is like this, for a certain question, 90% people said yes and 10% people said no. So how will you interpret that? You can say that majority of the people, since the people who said yes is more than 50%, we can say that the majority of the people has agreed to that thing. We can interpret the chart like that. Finally, after interpreting the chart, you will state what all things you find through this study. Remember, these findings should match with your objectives. What all things you wanted to find was stated in the objective. So finally, when you state your findings, it should include what all things you have found out of the objectives you mentioned in the beginning. And from the findings, you can draw a conclusion to a study. So this is the whole journey of making a study. When we make the report of the research, this is how it should go. It is some of the basic. There isn't much systematic form to do that, but this is what we follow. The first chapter should give an introduction. I will tell you in the next video what all things you should include in the introduction chapter. After that, we will move to the second chapter, review of literature. The third chapter is theoretical framework. Fourth is research methodology. Fifth gives the data collected and analyzed, findings and recommendations, and finally conclusion of the study. So the next thing we should know is how to prepare the introduction of a research report. Okay, we can see that, and slowly we can move to the other important factors of the research. Please let me know if you have any confusion. Thank you all.